for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy, right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. My friend, Sean Belesian, is here. He's my friend. How are you, friend?
Oh, I'm doing well, Neil. Everything that happened this weekend.
Sean,
no,
just
but
don't.
Do you understand? I'm not going to say it. Okay. I'm not going to say it.
We don't have time today.
But everything
now we ain't got time.
See, these people.
Hey, hobby time.
Javi Mays is a topic of discussion with everything that happened this weekend.
He wasn't for me.
Javi Bonds.
How do we get... You got dragged into it,
Hey,
too.
this picture gets closer and closer to being reality every time we see
Stop it already.
He learned from the greats. Just,
You know what we need in the archives, too? We need that split screen of Willie Mays and Javi. We do. We got to manufacture that. All right, get into it, everybody. Woodward Sports chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. We'll probably cross 81,000 subs coming up here. Hell of a weekend for Woodward Sports.
Shout out Trav.
And we appreciate it too. I mean, it was pure electricity.
Put in overtime.
Right, no doubt. John effing Lord. Neil, what's your opinion on Wake Up Woodward going way over, and will there be repercussions?
It's Stick's fault. It's Stick's fault.
I told him, get your stuff and get out. No, but there's a ton of stuff to get to from the weekend. We are going to do the draft, but Sean, in that interest, we're going to skip the how was your weekend stuff. You know, good win for Detroit City FC, though, on Saturday.
Out.
Nice win. Nice.
Yes.
They were outplayed, but they still won.
Shout out the boys.
They'll take it, no doubt. But, Sean, let's just do it, man. Let's just go. I think the Pistons are at top of mind right now, top of the story. What happened yesterday? There's a lot to unpack.
It's infuriating. Honestly, it is. You have to turn the page. You know, let's get all the bitching off of our chest. I didn't need the pool report to tell me what my own fucking eyes saw. Sorry for the language.
Thank you, man.
Honestly, I didn't need the pool report.
And there it is on the screen,
If
by
anything,
the way. Yep.
you know what? The pool report pisses me off more. I almost wish the NBA was the NFL and they would tell you repeatedly that you didn't see what you saw. Like, honestly, because you know the NFL's tack. The NFL's never going to admit that they messed something up. I almost wish that the NBA would lie to me so then I could call them delusional and just go about my day. It's infuriating. I'm going to say it, though, you guys. We all talked about it. This was supposed to be, and still can be, Cade's coming up party, okay? You got to hit that shot. In that moment.
I don't disagree with that.
You got to hit that shot.
I don't think Cade would disagree with that.
If you want to graduate, we all love the guy. Like, this is not, I hope you know, Neil, I'm not dogging him. Please, you guys out there, I'm not dogging him. But if we all want to talk about how much he's improved, that's the next level. Mm-hmm. That's where you become a legend in the NBA. When you hit those shots, when you take those games over, when you take a series over, there's still time, okay? This series isn't over. I firmly believe that, you guys. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. We've all watched the same series, okay?
Yeah.
The margin is this close. Is Cade Cunningham potentially the difference with that margin? I think so.
No, and we agree with you in that regard. But for the people that feel more in line with you and Cade just should have outright been better, what percentage of this game do you put on Cade?
I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
What percentage of this loss do you blame on Cade?
Oh, no. Come on.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But you know, you guys, let's be honest.
Trying to simplify it for the people.
No.
Like
and
Stick.
again, but you become a hero in those moments. Mm-hmm. That's the next step. We've all grown up watching the NBA. It's you're the man. Why do people dog Scotty so much? And it's unfair. Scotty was
because he sat out a Game 7 of a conference finals with a headache.
Right. I mean, it's that.
That's what happened.
Or how about? Well, we're gonna give the kid from Yugoslavia the last shot. I'm not going in. You know, You graduate in people's mind when you take that moment by the throat and you say, it's mine, okay? And I know people are going to see this. Have fun with it on Twitter and all that shit. I don't care, okay? You guys know what I'm saying. This is not Dog and Cade. Thank God he's a Piston. There's still another level there. But, okay, you want to take that next step? You want to go from being the most underrated player in the league to one of the big dogs? This is your moment. This is your time.
No, and Sean, look, we were told about that this guy's a superstar. So I just want to relive something here, and I want to talk about it because superstars, with 4:27 left in the fourth quarter, misses 2-point driving layup. With 3 minutes left, misses 3-point step back shot. With 3:47 left, shooting foul on a player shooting a 3-point shot. And that was the last we heard of the superstar in the fourth quarter. Luka Doncic should be exiled. We were all told, this is the move that's going to put him over the top. And Luka Doncic was silent for the last 5 minutes. Next, going to carry the Lakers, the face of the Lakers forever. And Luka Doncic was nowhere to be found. Get him out of here, Sean. He's not a superstar. He's not. In the biggest moments, where was Luka? He was a rumor.
Where was you on the morning show?
He's a rumor. Get him out of here.
Look at the Mavs, huh? You think the Mavs are maybe smiling just a little bit? I mean, they were fleeced.
Get him out of here.
Let's be honest.
The Mavs.
Sean,
They were.
everyone told me this guy's a franchise building block. And in the biggest moment of the season, with their life on the line, a missed layup, a missed three, fouls a guy shooting threes. He makes 3 free throws. That's the last we hear of them.
Yeah.
With their life on the line. Now they're down 3-1 and they're cooked. All because of their superstar. What? Tell me where I'm wrong.
I'm not. I'm giggling. It is. This is where we're at. And I'm sorry, Neil, part of it, I think it's crept into all sports. But I say it all the time about people here. I think we get too emotionally invested and we end up putting people on plateaus that they don't belong. And just the earnestness to put these grandiose tags on people, Neil, it kind of cracks me up. Don't you earn that? It's not something that's just given. You earn it. And you earn it in big moments, right? That's what separates you from the mere mortals. Whether we want to admit it or not, that is the reality of the situation. You go next level when you get it done in crunch time. And if you don't, prepare for the repercussions.
And you have to ask the question right now. If you're a basketball fan in this town, you have to ask the question, the hard question. Is Luka really a superstar? Because I didn't see it. I was told about it. I was told that this is an earth-altering trade, and now the Lakers have the final piece. I keep hearing it. But I never see it
and
because I look up in the last 5 minutes of the game of their season. I didn't see them anywhere.
It's times like this where I really love you.
Why?
No, I'll just continue.
I'm just bringing up the facts, right? That's what I keep hearing from everybody.
It's at times like this that I love you.
Bringing up the facts. That's what I saw. That's what the world saw. Burn in the super chat. If you want to skip the line, there's going to be a lot of you in here today. If you want to skip the line, burn in the super chat. Kicking over those trash cans finally paid off. The Tigers and bullpen arms are turning into the Eagles' D-line. Oh, look. Tripped over another pitcher. No, Burn, and I do feel bad.
5 runs allowed in the series with the Orioles.
Crazy.
Like, I do feel bad because we're not going to give it its due attention.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Javi Town.
Javi's back.
Javi's so
Big back.
Yep.
Has over 1,000 OPS with a runner at second.
Big back. I ain't talking
As,
about
as
fat
players
ladies.
tend to do. But anyway, though,
I ain't talking about the big girls. He's big back.
Real quick, since we're on it, since somebody brought it up in the chat, Tarek Skubal threw what I have a new terminology for. Tarek Skubal threw what I deem to be the new perfect game. 11 strikeouts, all swinging. He was untouchable.
Yeah.
Guys aren't going to go 9 innings anymore and do that stuff, and they didn't need him to anyway. They had such a big lead. Kenta got in there.
Yeah, that was I talked about it on heavyweights. I talked about it a little bit on E&E, the changeup that he has established this, not just this year, but last year. They really worked on his changeup, and they added some seam shifted wake to it that allows it to cut down and towards the arm side. So you see he's throwing it at 90 miles an hour, and it's got like 30 inches of run. Like, it's just an absolute nasty pitch, and he had 12 whiffs on it yesterday alone. Like, it is one of the best pitches in baseball.
It's absolutely stupid. So, again, my apologies. The Tigers deserve it. The AL leading Detroit Tigers, soon to be MLB leading Detroit Tigers.
Stop playing with them.
This week we are going to get into that, though. We are, I promise you. But this is going to be NBA and draft. Spenny, can we do a chat poll?
Yeah.
Right here, right now, is Luka a superstar? Please. Mac Walker Jr. in the
I was told you was going to echo stick sentiments. I was told.
Mac Walker Jr. in the super chat. The people trashing the Pistons are idiots. We won 14 games last year, then won 44 this year. So, just a fan. Kent is the Tigers' human victory cigar. Remember the victory cigars.
Right. He do only get put in.
Light him up. Kent is in.
Oh, I love seeing Darko. I love seeing Darko. There he is.
With all due respect, just a fan, I'm stealing that and moving forward with it, okay? That's going to be my thing. I am going, every time he comes in, I'm going to tweet out, it's just somebody lighting up a cigar.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I find myself doing?
I'm going to go to the Sean Belizean School of Social Media.
I find myself doing it. I completely blame KG for this.
Blame me.
No, listen to me. You're going to understand in a second. Every time my son brings up something about Javi, my first response, and it's 100% your fault, is praise him.
Praise him.
And
Praise
I catch myself.
Praise
I catch
Javier.
myself. Like wherever KG is, I shake my fist and hope that he feels it. What was that? Oh, it was probably Belizean shaking his fist at me, right?
Yeah.
But I do. Like when you have those guys, because like my kid's in that mode right now, Neil. He's like, okay, seriously, I'll take this if that's what it is. And of course, compared to the what it was last year, of course you'll take it.
That's all we say.
Anonymous. Stick is the biggest jackass I've ever seen on any sports network.
Jesus.
What?
Okay.
Where did that come from?
Strong opinion.
Jamarcus Dooley, Pistons one of the weaker matchup. Now look. Okay, all right, let's do this. We'll take the first break. When we come back, we're getting into it because I have some commonalities. I want to compare the Pistons to another team. So I do want to discuss it. Louis IV. Let's talk Tigers. Pistons are cooked, but Brad had another A++ draft. No, there's a lot to unpack after yesterday's game. Tell them about Les Stanford.
Les Stanford Chevrolet, Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred all-wheel drive for only $259 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation for only $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick GMC, LesStanford.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
All right, back at it, Big D Energy. We're off and running on a Monday. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean here with you. KG, Spencer Raxter, chasing the Chase Lounge. You know the players, you know the game. Jump into that super chat if you want to skip the line. We're doing Pistons and NFL draft. And we got to shout out the Tigers, no doubt. We'll do more on them as the week unfolds. Great Lakes 24 in the super chat. Congrats to Wrexham, the only English football team to be promoted back-to-back-to-back in English football since 1888. If you haven't watched Welcome to Wrexham, I would suggest
my boy
doing
Ryan
so.
Reynolds doing that. That's still his squad, right?
They're like a step away from the Premier League.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Him and Rob McElhenney, right?
Like they essentially started where DCFC started in a league like playing at a high school.
Yeah.
And they're one step away from the Premier League,
Crazy.
with Liverpool,
Yeah, like
and
the
Man
best
City.
the best in the world. Yes.
It's absolutely
Crazy.
insane. All right. Justin Galena never expected the Pistons to get anywhere near the calls that the Knicks got in the series. Sean, let's get into it. I want to start there. Look, this is a classic. Both things can be true, Sean.
Thank you.
You can sit there and say you're counting on a ref to bail you out, but really, isn't that like the foundation of his game? It's something that goes on. And the bottom line, Sean, is I am usually the king of that because when D-Mac sits in your chair, when Braylon sits in your chair, you never hear them complain about officiating.
Can't do it.
Never, ever, ever. However, with that being said, you cannot look me in the eye, and I hear people talking about it. You can't ask for that call. When the league comes out and says it's a foul, can we all agree the refs missed a call?
Yeah, immediately after the game.
Immediately after. There's the pool report right there.
Fucking disgusting.
The official said it should have been a foul. It didn't. And you can't tell me that doesn't have an impact on the game because he's got 3 free throws to make 2 to win the game. At the end.
Yeah.
Over.
And chase that with a questionable backcourt call the night before or the game before.
Yeah.
I get it. The rule changed.
The rule
but
changes,
that has never
man.
been a backcourt in all my years of
Yeah,
watching
the
basketball.
rule changes. Well, you need to adjust.
I do.
I'm
I
with
admit
you.
that.
And the league didn't come out and say that was a mistake on our part.
It is a very rare occasion, and this has been like a staple with me in all the years that I've been in this business. It is a very rare occasion where I can sit back and say the refs cost somebody a game. Okay, it doesn't work that way. There are too many variables that can come into the equation, and I'm not going to do it here, Neil. But do you understand how catastrophic that was?
Yes.
There's such a fine line in the postseason. There just is. There's such a fine line in the postseason. There's such a big difference between Hardaway going up there and banging 2 free throws to put that away and tie this series up, heading back to New York, and being in the position they're in right now. There is such a fine line. And you know what? It's a lesson for a young team that only won 14 games last year. All that crap. I get it. I do. But it sucks. There's
no other way to describe it.
It sucks.
They came out. It's not me crying about it. It's not Pistons fans crying about it. The league came out and said it. The league put the release out there. The league had the official pool reporter in there.
I'm not going to blame the loss on officials, though. I'm just not. Like I said,
you can't.
I can't do it. I can't. That's the exit. If you guys want to go there, I'll get off at the exit beforehand. I
It
can't.
was elite level shot making by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns.
100%.
It's insane stuff. The shots that they were putting in. You needed Isaiah Stewart in this series. You needed him to play because he's the only big on your team that can guard Karl Anthony Towns. And unfortunately, he didn't play. The past 3 games. That hurts you a lot. So it sucks. Cade needs to hit that shot at the end. And the refs need to make the call. Everything can be true.
I'm not gonna die on the hill of, the loss is on Cade because he didn't make the shot. I'm not doing that.
Thank you.
I'm not doing that.
I hope you know that. I totally agree on that. But this is, again, a both things can be true situation.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
If we're all going to sit here before the series starts, and I included, if you remember, in our nickel package, and I said, is this Cade Cunningham's coming out party? Yes. The opportunities have been there.
Right.
They have.
And you can definitely, criticize him in that regard in some of his, not. Could he be more aggressive later in games or even earlier in games? You can make that argument. But once again, for somebody that's averaging almost a triple-double in this playoff series, I think this is a good starting point. We all know that this team is not a finished product, not trying to provide excuses, but it is the reality. You're down Isaiah Stewart going into the series. Thought you would have him. You've been down Jaden Ivey, which, with Cade averaging 26 and the next closest person averaging 15, you can use somebody like a Jaden Ivey in this playoff series. There's caveats, and that's all we're saying. But absolutely, they didn't play good enough to win yesterday, and you cannot put this game solely on the referees, although it is absolutely a factor.
Do you know what it was for me, guys? When he was bringing the ball down the court, I had a flashback to, Zoolander. I'm serious. there it is. Like, you saw the play happening, right before he drops Magnum on everybody. I mean, honestly, it was like I saw that continuation of the play, and it was like, all right, is Cade going to drive and put it in? Is Cade going to stop and pop? Is he going to try the 14-footer? Everything was like, this is the moment. This is the moment where people are, oh, look at Cade. Clutch. He took the Pistons out of the pit of despair, and the shot missed. And that sucks. That doesn't mean that he's a less than player. It doesn't mean all those things. It means, like you were just saying, KG, whether we want to admit it or not, the Detroit Pistons are a big, fat not yet.
Mm-hmm.
They are. Which is what we knew
going in.
Coming into all this is where I get off the highway, Sean. Okay? Like, when did they magically change what they were?
They did.
Before this playoff series started. When did they magically change what they were? IT Hips in the Super Chat. As pissed off as I was with the non-call, I've come to the realization the Pistons need to get Cade some help. If they had a healthy Ivy all series, then I have no doubts that they win this series. Mm-hmm. And guess what? When Ivy comes back, like, it's not a finished thing there either.
No, it's not.
Like, there are questions about Ivy. Mm-hmm. Are there not? Like, in terms of, well, he didn't get the playoff.
Consistency.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the questions continue. That's where you are as a franchise right now.
Yeah.
Dante 151. Ernie Johnson on NBA and TNT. He's in the Super Chat also, Dante. Why isn't there a third person who can buzz down and say there should have been a foul on that shot at the end?
Like the NFL in the last 2 minutes, they can review any play. And the NBA doesn't have that kind of thing.
Correct. And for the JB challenge crowd,
he didn't. Yeah,
you can't challenge a call
that's not
that
call.
Didn't get called.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You have to challenge a call. There wasn't a call.
Right.
So everybody piped down about that too. Blame it on the refs, right, Neil? Did it have an impact? It had an impact. I didn't hear you at any point in time blame it on the refs. No. In fairness to you. And what was it? But you can't, the flip side to that, what I would tell that person is you can't tell me that didn't have a direct impact too. Yeah. Both things are true. Here's the deal. I always tell you guys, remember last week when the Tigers lost 2 of 3?
Yep.
And they lost a game, 2-0 or whatever, they had 3 hits. Mm-hmm. And I said, whenever the Tigers lose this year, this is how it's going to look. Mm-hmm. Pretty much every single time. The majority of the time, the percentage of the time, this is how it's going to look. When the Pistons lose a game like that, that's how it's going to look. Well, they have 19 turnovers?
Yep.
You can't win NBA basketball games like that.
Same as game 1. They had a lot of turnovers.
You can't win NBA basketball games like that. You just can't do it. And it's interesting to me because when you look at stats, and everyone, where was it here? Cade's game yesterday was like a quarterback that threw for 350 yards and 4 interceptions. So, look at most favored nations. Neil, Cade has been on his team 3 times longer than Luka with LeBron. Okay, anyway,
it's not.
Sean, you're okay.
Situations matter, people.
They absolutely do. When the Pistons lose, this is how it's going to look. And the turnover stuff. If I told you guys, you know who the NBA turnover leaders were this year? In no specific order. Yeah. LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Edwards, Giannis, Kevin Durant, Trae Young, James Harden, Cade Cunningham. In no particular order.
Yeah.
Those are the names.
What's the commonality between all those names?
They always have the ball.
There you go.
They always have the ball.
Yep.
That's the way this is going to work. It's almost like a whip situation or an OPS situation. Mm-hmm. Like, people just see the numbers and that's it. The guy with the ball in his hands is going to turn it over in this league more. I can live with that. 100% I can live with it. And if he makes the shot, nobody's talking about that. You got it. But he didn't make the shot. That's exactly There will be more shots for him to make.
Yep.
And I guess it all comes back to this, Sean. Karl Anthony Towns is a bad dude. Mm-hmm. He was a bad dude yesterday, pulling up from 27 feet, knocking down threes when they were on the ropes. I would contend that 3-point shot, that 27-footer he made, if we're looking at vacuums, that was the biggest play of the game because they were dead.
Absolutely.
And then they weren't.
How about Jalen Brunson, after injuring his ankle, knee, whatever, coming back and dropping 15 points?
Yeah.
These type of things kill you.
Here's what it all boils down to, and I may have said this on the show. I may
marked Royal. Where is Brunson on that list, Neil? Is Brunson counted on to do as much in the offense as Cade? Just everything predicated around Brunson with the ball in his hand?
Not all of it.
I was going to say, because Karl Anthony Towns is a 24-12 guy all the time.
He is, but
you see what I'm saying here?
he gets a tick higher percentage than Cat. But yes, your point is valid.
No, like, it's not this.
Yeah,
You're
it's not the
comparing
same.
things that aren't the same. Well, why doesn't Jamison Williams get as many catches as Amon-Ra St. Brown? Why? Amon-Ra's obviously better. He catches the ball more. Mm-hmm. You see how stupid it sounds?
Yeah.
Well, you know what it comes back to? Like, it's so funny you say that. It's like the conversations that we had ad nauseum about a year ago, right, with Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams has to put up 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns. No, he doesn't. Playing on this team with the weapons they have? No, he doesn't. No, the people that were going to be satisfied when J-Mo, and in fairness to a lot of those people, they dropped that silliness because I think J-Mo showed out. But Neil, asking somebody to do something that he doesn't have to do because those around him is the overall point. I mean, that's the point of the situation. It is different circumstances.
That's it.
Period.
That's it. Here's the deal with the Pistons and the Knicks. The Pistons are one player away from the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And the Knicks are one player away from the Celtics. Mm-hmm. Which is why the Celtics win championships, which is why the Knicks get cooked by the Celtics, and why we're down 3-1 to the Knicks. Dispute it. I'm sorry. I should have saved this for later because I essentially ended the show. Have a great day, everyone.
Neil,
Right.
you know
They
what?
have 2 stars.
You don't, like, and I swear to God, he and I did not talk about this. I was sitting there watching a certain hockey game last night, okay?
I know it wasn't a Wings game.
I'll let you figure out which one it was. And honest to God, the margin between the 1 seed right now and the 8 seed is this. Mm-hmm. For anybody that has watched the game, the margin between the Washington Capitals and the Montreal Canadiens right now is this. And there are some things that I really, really, really like more about the Montreal Canadiens. But it's this. It's this. And that is all the difference in the world. Because right now, I applied that to the Pistons. Golly gee, this is a nice step, and golly gee, we're not getting our ass kicked, and golly gee, if this, that, or the other thing happened, we might be up 3-1 in the series. But you aren't, right? And that really, I think that's the difference, and that's the lesson that so many teams get. Darren McCarty's teams. Hey, we had these big, bad, bold regular seasons, and we didn't get dick out of them. Mm-hmm. And we got our asses kicked in our first Stanley Cup when everybody and their brother thought that if there was a sweep, it was going to be the Wings sweeping the Devils. What are you talking about, right? And really, it's that much. And I seriously, and to the New Yorkers, our new friends, thanks for joining us, first of all. You guys tell me. You guys have seen the same thing. It's that small right now. But props to you. You've been that much better.
They stepped up.
And you absolutely, positively deserve a 3-1 lead in this series.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. 100% that's fair. Let's keep it timely. Let's get on. We got a super chat here from Byrne. Watch the games. Every time Cade gets the ball, 3 to 5 guys crash down on him. And if the Knicks have a free guy, he covers the other guy who can shoot. No, Byrne, they blitz him.
Yeah.
No,
that's the only
There
way
is
to
not a
beat
player
Cade.
in this league that gets blitzed more than him.
That's the only way to beat him. Otherwise, he dropping buckets on you.
Well, all right, we'll get into it. Let's talk about Planet Fitness. I just came from Planet Fitness as a matter of fact. Got my work in and got on my way because that's the way it works with Planet Fitness. We're working on turning the 5K time up. That's been the goal over the last couple months. Just something fun. Turn it up, everybody. That's what we're doing. But you can do all that at Planet Fitness. There's an army of cardio equipment. If you want to push the weights around instead, you're more spenny than you are me. That's cool. Spenny's in there all the time. Tons of weights. You ever waiting for weights to come available? Machines?
Nope.
Never. Not one time. Planet Fitness has you cut. And look, you want to do the plyometrics and the stretching and all that? They have that too. 30-minute circuits. Everything you need is at a Planet Fitness. You don't need to pay $100 a month because a place has a rock wall or a pool. All right? You don't need it, guys. I'm telling you this. Planet Fitness. Over 50 locations in Metro Detroit. They're wherever you are, and it's the best gym in the gym game. Go to planetfitness.com or pull in the parking lot. Planet Fitness. Don't pay more money to lift the same weights.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well. Oh,
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma. Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join him every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts, Dr. Jeff Pierce, here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit him at michigansportsandspine.com or give him a call at 248-426-9944.
Neil Rule, Sean Belesian back at it, talking Pistons, Knicks. We got KG, we got Chase, we got Spencer Raxter from third to first on the infield. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread, please click the like button since you're there. If you want to jump the line in the chat, go ahead and fire off a super chat. We read all the chats we can, man. You guys drive and program the show. You take the time out of your day to watch. The least I can do is read a message or two from you. I think that's a pretty fair exchange on our part here. So we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Tens of thousands of views from the draft. Shout out to Scott Bischoff, Sean Belesian. I was locked into that Friday night draft. Sean, I was locked in.
Yeah, and appreciated some of your comments, too.
Yeah.
Always appreciate
I know there was like a Neil R. in Washington.
Neil R. in Washington Township.
That was not me.
Oh, wow.
No, I didn't think it was you.
No.
But no, you are hitting me up separately with other messages.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I mean, it is amazing what the draft has turned into, and I know we're going to get into it. There's a lot to like about this draft. I will remind people now that the draft is done. I don't know if you know this, so you can go sign guys still.
Really?
Yeah.
No, this is it. I thought this is your team.
No, really, you can. And then like during camp, there could be casualties. And you could sign them too.
Wait. I thought that this was it. You get to pick your players in the draft, and then we play games.
And then there's this thing called the trade deadline too. It's really, the NFL's been desirous to turn that into a thing, and that's
becoming a thing.
That's a pretty fun week too. So if you don't like where the Lions are at, it's okay. I don't know how, but if you don't like it, there are more options to get players. KG, did you know that? Because you're kind of giving me the wow.
No, I didn't know that.
I thought this was it. This was your last shot.
You just educated
That's
me,
it.
man.
This is a roster. That's it. This is what we got.
Jason Kenyon in the super chat. It's not quite Cade's time. SGA led Oklahoma City to a hard-fought sweep, technical fouls and all. SGA, well, they did beat them by 50 in a game.
Yeah, that's
SGA took a few seasons to get this far. Now OKC's looking like an 04 Pistons team. Cade will get there. No doubt, Jason. We'll get to this, but this offseason, and you know, they're still playing. Like, they still got a shot. I mean, I wouldn't bet my family's grocery money on it.
Right.
But, you know, they're still alive. But with that being said, if it does end in this round, then you are at a point where this offseason becomes the hardest part. Mm-hmm. Getting your number 2 in this league. Getting the one's actually not the hard part. You got to have some luck, but you know, you get some luck in the lottery, which, contrary to everyone's take, we did have some luck in the lottery. Mm-hmm. That's how we got Cade. The hardest part of this is getting the number 2, because what number 2 do you get? What assets do you get rid of to get it?
Right.
How do you approach it? And I have some ideas, and we'll get into them. If this series ends, the next day we'll have that talk.
Yeah. Name a great. I mean, how many? Like, seriously, name a great. Everybody had to go through their ups and downs. Say, you usually come into the league and you usually come to a bad team and you struggle, unless you're Kobe
like
Bryant.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And he did. I mean, he did. I mean, even, hey, congratulations, you put up 63 against the Celtics. Well, aren't you like, well, you got your asses kicked,
yes.
you know? And unless you're Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant walked into a great situation. So it happened for Kobe later.
And I heard this from Sam Flannel, all 8 points per game in his first playoff
He was a
appearance.
role player. He was.
But you know what happened? Kobe struggled. The Lakers struggled. How many times did people say he can't win without Shaq? How much did he have to put up with that shit? People forget that, right? It wasn't championship upon championship. When he jumped into the league, yeah. But once Shaq left and that thing all came apart, think how long it took them to get back. And they even suffered the disgrace of falling to their hated Boston Celtics and that, the
Big Three.
Big Three and all that shit. So it happens. It's a learning curve. You have to call it as you see it. But let's not make any rash, this is what Cade is. I completely disagree with that line of thinking.
Yep.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Jump into there. Get your thoughts out there.
Hey, Javi Town.
Hey, Javi Town. That's right. Super Bowl Vaughn. Good morning, Javi Baez, and good morning, everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning. Praise Javier.
Javi Mays.
Over 700 OPS.
You better stop playing, my boy.
And on Friday, he was 1 out away from being in the 5.
Like I said, the guy shows up when you need
Hey,
him to.
but guess what, Neil? He didn't.
He didn't. You're right.
I told you, Neil, it's Javi Mays. We're going to be talking about the Say Hey Kid.
Ripping doubles.
This generation Say Hey Kid.
Just stop playing.
Jack
man.
Stark. Why is
Ripping
Cade taking the
doubles.
shot at the
The
7-second
catalyst.
mark anyway? Should have been make or nothing. Well, Jack, I would counter that to say, well, he missed and we got the ball back.
Yep.
Right.
So,
And it should have been a foul call. Clear as fucking day.
you know what I'm saying?
The only criticism I got, because the shot, it was in rhythm. It's his
Yeah, he
type
was
of
open,
shot.
like-
that is his bread and butter.
Yeah.
The only thing you can criticize is maybe he could have drove it to the rack. He had an open lane. He had a one-on-one. Maybe you drive it. If you miss it, maybe you get the call. Maybe. But these fucking officials.
Dude, that was his moment. Like, I can't stress that to you enough. As I was watching it, I was sitting back going, here it is. Here it is. Like, this is the poster, right? And it didn't. Just, gosh damn it.
Art Vandalay in the super chat. Shout out my longtime friend's kid from Michigan State who got drafted by the Bears, FTB. Luke Newman, such an awesome family, and as much as it hurts to see him go to the Bears, he's an absolute dog.
Shout out. Smart
Shout
dog.
out, but Spenny, to keep consistent, he's dead to me.
He's dead to me.
You're a Bear now.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Well, wait a minute. You should celebrate him.
Here you go.
You see what I did? I lobbed you a softball. You crushed it like Javi.
Shaq and
Javi.
Kobe.
The,
Man.
the views and
Rope the
opinions
double.
of Neil Rule is not the views and opinions of all Michigan fans. Disclaimer.
No, you should celebrate him, even though they went to the Bears.
No!
I was told that.
You should celebrate Javi, but you don't.
I did celebrate it yesterday. I was happy,
Oh, okay.
especially too once they got up 2-0. I knew that was over
Huh.
because Tarek.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing
he's
nice,
that
man.
He's that man. for
No,
sure.
he is absolutely that man. Woodward Sports chat thread again. Jump into there. Get your thoughts out there. Neil, I would assume in response to the Karl Anthony Towns discussion, Neil, Brunson is averaging over 30 points per game. Would you call his when as he's getting 30 shots per game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Volume. Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns, man,
No, he was different last night. He was.
from distance, dude.
Yeah.
And if you look at the down and distance of when it happened, can we say comfortably, we as a city were wrong about Karl Anthony Towns.
1,000%.
Spenny, you were a huge.
We were wrong,
Wrong
but
about
he's
what?
he's
About
also
Karl Anthony
he
Towns.
stepped up.
But what about him?
Like, in the biggest moments, he's been the biggest.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody knew he was a good player. He's still a bitch. Like,
No, big facts. But
he's still very cringe, and I thought it was a 3, but
Right.
he's a fantastic basketball
we won the
player.
game
That
going
was-
back to New York. Is that
everybody
good
knew
enough?
that.
Is that good enough for you? It's fucking shit.
He's making
but
shots.
to
Elite-
his
elite
credit,
level shots.
he has stepped up. Like, we've never seen this version of Karl Towns in the playoffs.
Oh, you mean it takes a minute to?
I'm just saying. But him is the 1A. I don't know. Still, but last night.
Well,
he cooked
again,
it.
they're a player away,
Yeah.
and they'll find that out
Yeah.
as they get further. Nick Lucido, Neil, you wanted those Robert Morris refs yesterday. Boy, we played at Robert Morris this year. Oakland did,
Yeah.
and the ref was egregious, and they fired him. Like they
Oh,
sent him
shit.
to D2 the next day.
Damn.
So, you know,
Neil put that call in.
yeah, that wasn't me.
This is unacceptable.
Chili Damons, Towns wouldn't be doing this against Beef Stew. Well, Beef Stew's not playing.
Yeah.
And that's
It's where I'd attack you.
That knife cuts both ways.
Yeah.
And when Jalen Brunson got hurt yesterday, I was like Drago's wife.
if he dies, he dies.
I absolutely was.
The little smile that
Light
shows
up
up
the
on her
cigarette.
face.
I was.
Light up the cigarette.
That's how I was. I was like,
You hate to see it, but you know.
I hope he gets better next week.
Yeah.
But, he came back and he took over, no doubt. Burn in the super chat. Look out, Dingler just picked off another steal attempt.
Dingler's the man.
Yeah.
Got a hose.
Big Wolf status. All I kept hearing was the Pistons wanted the Knicks.
They did.
This still the
Still do.
most even matchup of the playoffs. It's just we are short Isaiah Stewart,
They
and
lost
that
2 games
that
by
matters.
3 points combined.
They're that much better.
Yeah.
They're that much. I can't sit here and say how we would have done against Indiana. I can't, and I won't. All I can tell you is what I'm seeing in this series, and what I'm seeing in this series is, quite frankly, what we talked about. The Pistons do have a chance to beat the Knicks.
And to be honest, it's self-inflicted mistakes. We really should be up 3-1.
And if you don't believe it, we aren't watching the same series.
Yeah.
Like they're this close. I don't think any one of us. Just to make sure, I don't think any one of us made a declaration. I don't think any one of us said, "Oh yeah, we're going to smoke the Knicks." I wanted the Knicks, and this is the reason why I wanted the Knicks. Because if there's one thing I've learned through 4 games, the Pistons could play with the Knicks.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, and again, it's there, but it just ain't there because they're down 3-1.
Yep.
And I won't sit here and cry.
No,
Did the referee call have an impact in the game? Hell yes, it had an impact on the game.
Got to take it out of their hands, though. Got to hit that.
You had
that's
a
it.
double-digit lead in the fourth
And that's
quarter.
it, man.
You cannot let that go.
Like, it is factual. Both things can be true.
Yeah.
And both things.
And Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson stepped up and made insanely big shots.
Got to
down
give
the
them
stretch.
credit.
Time after time.
They've been the more physical team the last couple games.
Yeah,
You got to give them credit.
they're getting.
They stepped up.
That's where you miss Isaiah Stewart. It's the physicality, the rebounding, the defense, his ability to defend on the perimeter and at the rim for a big. You don't have that. So, it sucks. But I said it after game 1. I said it after game 3. Got to be better. Got to go out there and be better. You had a chance to win the game. You didn't.
G Money 313. No Ivy, no beef stew, and they're struggling to beat the Pistons. So they're up 3-1. So
Right.
Sounds like he's watching the same series we're watching.
No question.
Right.
All right, Samaris, what about the NFL draft? Speak, and we shall talk about it when we
Shout out
come
Luke
back.
Newman.
Strictly because of your message.
But sorry, Luke.
We were gonna do the Pistons again, but because you asked, we'll talk NFL draft when we come back. Where can we find Woodward on the socials?
Everywhere that you get social media, Woodward has a giant presence, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, or Twitch. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports at Woodward Sports on all different social media platforms for all the best content in Detroit. At Woodward Sports on all social media platforms.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Neil Rule here for Feldman Chevy in Novi. It's where I bought my car. If you want a Chevy, it's where you should buy your car. They have great deals like the Silverado lease deal, the Equinox lease deal also. And you can scan the QR code on the screen right above my head there and take a look at the inventory.
Do it.
You can even start the buying or leasing process right from your phone. And I told you guys, I have to be forthcoming with you. I told you about how I got the keys to my car in about 90 minutes when I decided that this was a car I was going to go to.
Factual.
You know how I did that? I scanned the QR code. Oh, I went to their website, but whatever. You can scan the QR code. And I looked at the cars and decided on the exact one I wanted and said, hey, I want this one. Let's do it. That's what it was. So you can do the same thing, man.
Do it.
Feldman Chevy in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. All right, back at it. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean, KG, Spencer Raxter, Chase in the Chase Lounge. All of you, click the like button. Get in there. Get your thoughts out there like Byrne did with the Super Chat if you want to skip the line. Byrne, I'm on one today, but what happened to the just get in the playoffs and get your teeth kicked in crowd? This is what happens. Why are you shocked? I've been waiting for somebody to say
He's
that.
got a point, right?
Let me ask you.
He's got a point.
The Montreal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much comms you've had with your good buddy Habs, man. What's kind of the thought process, Sean? You guys, they got a game in it, so that's kind of cool.
I can't stress it enough. I mean, the whole damn series. It's been, they lost a game in overtime. They were leading a game in the third period last night. Let it get away to a veteran team, and
Tom Wilson changed the course of that game, didn't he?
That hit changed everything. It did. That just the whole game.
And that's
I hope
that's my guy. I mean, I watched him do it with Plymouth, and the funny thing is, he would never tell you this. So he wanted to be a Hab more than you could shake a stick at. He really did. He told me point blank. He even dropped the Mr. Belizean, do you think I'll go there? And I was like, no, Willie, there's no way you make it to the second round. It's no way, And Washington took him in the first round, but it's that much. But can I say this? Byrne, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But don't we as fans, don't we reserve the right to feel like we got our chest kicked in anyway? Because it's like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen, but I didn't know it would be this close.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you change one or two things, both of those teams are up 3-1 right now. You know what I mean? And that's what and I think they're very similar because you know the best is yet to come with the Pistons. There's some more work that needs to be done. I think with the Habs, there's a little more work that needs to be done, but I mean they've got a nice young core and then some future stars to put it mildly, but he's not wrong. I think, Byrne, that's a great point. Yeah, you're right. It's well, you knew this was going to happen.
Sucks when it happens.
What are you so agitated at? I think when you see it happen is when you get agitated because you're like, gosh damn it, you take this variable and you take that variable and the situation could be reversed.
And that's it, Sean. Like, they have a player like Tom Wilson. He made a play that changed the entire complexion of that game.
Sure did.
That's a player that's not on the Canadiens roster.
Yep.
Like that's how this works,
Yep.
man. Everybody will lose except for one team, and when they lose, it's going to be 9 times out of 10 what they were deficient at that cost them.
Yep.
That's the way that it works. Detroit LFC, Neil, you will never walk alone. 20 back on our effing perch. No, shout out Liverpool. I was locked in. I was watching. They won the EPL officially. Hey, Arsenal fans, suck it again. Shad 216.
That's canon.
In the super chat. Should we as Detroit fans stop coddling and giving the leeway to refs even when they admitted to screwing up? They think they're untouchable. Shad, you guys hear me, and like I'm critical of officials that make a mistake, but it's kind of more in college because they don't have to face it. I will give the NBA credit. The referees have to answer questions.
Yeah,
as we saw. I will
they
give
don't
credit.
Get penalized. That's where I get mad at because it's like you can't have
they
that
they will at some point.
Yeah, you can't have that kind of error in a playoff series. That's what I like. Make the right fucking call. It was clear as day. Ref was right there. Right? How do you not see that? You 2 feet away from it.
I think it's just one of those split-second things where the last thought in his mind was, if I blow this whistle, I change this game.
Yeah,
but
change it for the right reasons.
If you don't, but by not doing it, he also changed the game. But that's the way. I guarantee you that's a thought that went through his mind.
100%. And you know what I would defer to? Do your job.
Do
That's
your
what I would
fucking
defer
job.
to.
Yeah.
That's your default mode. If in question, do your job. And anybody with half a brain in their head knew that was a foul. Period.
Mac Walker Jr. Let's turn it to the NFL draft. I give the draft a B. It still hurts to see Campbell passed on and go to the Eagles, and the wide receiver pick was a reach to me. Mac, I was listening to NFL Network on satellite radio. There's talk Jihad Campbell might not play next year. That's what they're talking about. Which, as all this comes out, then we see why. Mm-hmm. We see the why. The Mike Green thing. They're talking about some pretty nasty stuff that's out there. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. Never we're going to draft Mike Green.
A couple places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a couple of stops.
Sheesh.
Which seems to be a pattern.
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at here? So that all makes sense also. Jason Kenyon, I called the first two picks, interior D and O. The rest was a bonus build-up. We'll see Big Z signed. OTAs will be super competitive. We got depth now. Shad216, shout out to my high school teammates for getting to the NFL. Sadly, to the Packers and the Vikings. Well,
Rip.
F your high school teammates.
They're
Sorry.
both done.
They're both dead
They're
to
both
us.
done.
So that is it. All right, we're caught up with the super chat.
I saw a lot more positive feedback on the Lions draft than initially expected.
All I'm
from
going to
the
say
fan
to
base.
that, KG, is I hope they watch this show because I don't think any of us
No.
over the last few months blew smoke. This was going to be what it was, okay? And how many times we're all desirous of wanting an edge? How many times did we say, don't be surprised if it is an IOL? Don't be surprised if it isn't a defensive tackle. And do you remember, a lot of people said that defensive tackle was still a need, guys. It was. Oh, no, we need to get an edge first. Based on what? I didn't understand that logic. I didn't.
There's two things that I don't want to hear anymore from the chat. If you put it in your chat message, I'm probably not going to read it. When you say, we reached for a receiver, I'm tired of hearing the term reach.
Oh, amen.
You don't know their board. I don't know their board. The other GMs don't know their board. We're past the point of saying that Brad Holmes, quote, reached for anybody.
Right.
There's a reason he did it the way that he did
Jameer
it.
Gibbs was a reach. You like him,
Jameer
don't you?
Gibbs was a reach. Jack Campbell was a reach.
liked him, don't
Jamison
you?
Williams was a reach,
Yeah,
right?
he was.
A luxury reach pick.
He was.
Guy that's hurt. Like I'm done with the term reach, Sean. You don't know their board and their valuations.
It really is as simple as, do you trust Brad Holmes? And I'll be honest with you, I have no idea how you could answer no to that. Now, if you want to be one of those wiseacres that say, well, I'm not sure he can go win a Super Bowl, well, I'm going to have to shut up to that point. I am. I think we all are. But in terms of personnel, in terms of talent evaluation, I don't know how any human being could say no to that answer. So at that point in time, Neil, I sit back and go, all right, that's his board. That's what he's saying. He wouldn't take this guy if that guy wasn't on his board. How's that worked out for him historically in his time with the Lions?
Pretty good.
Okay, cool. Right? All right. Tip of the cap. Let's go.
Yep.
Time to move on to something else, and that's and again, the work's not done. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They're going to need an edge. I'm convinced Z is coming back.
I am too.
Newsflash. I think everybody is, okay? But they're probably going to need another guy too. Now, where does that guy come from? I don't know. But I'm not worried about it. There are things that I'm going to worry about now. And also remember, this guy comes from the Bill Parcells school. He doesn't like rookies. You guys have watched it, right?
And why do you think that is?
He's not. Rookies fuck up.
Bingo.
It's simple. I mean, I have no other way to say that. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to come in and contribute. But if you think that they're going to come in and play a max role, there might be exceptions to the rule, but it doesn't work that way. This is a guy, again, playing chess. Because I know nobody wants to hear it. There are two guys on that offensive line in particular. They're going to be gone sooner rather than later.
The sun is setting.
I know
absolutely
nobody wants to hear
love
it.
those picks.
Nobody wants to hear it,
both of
Spenny,
them.
but that's reality.
Those were probably my two favorite picks of this draft. Like, Tyleik Williams was very high on my board. I loved that pick. Tate Ratledge, you guys know, was very high on my board. I loved that pick.
Because he's your brother.
Miles
Right.
Frazier was very high on my board. I think that is like Christian Mahogany-esque.
No one said
draft
a word
pick.
about him
The,
either.
No,
the
that
Miles
was a
Frazier
great pick.
was an
Great
absolute
pick.
steal. The Tesla thing, did I like the trade? No, I didn't like the trade. But you look at this kid, 6'4", 4'4", 40-inch vertical, 0 career drops. That's pretty good. Like, I'm cool with that.
That's your slide of the future.
I talked to somebody that's on the staff at Arkansas about him too.
Yeah.
So wait, I'll give the details of that conversation when we get to that.
He's not bad. Andrew Armstrong was getting the ball, but he's not bad at all. Like,
and they had some quarterback issues, to say the least.
Yak King.
Art Vandelay. I reached for a bourbon this weekend, Neil. Art, I did Saturday night also. Mike
too many
G.
drinks this weekend. I got to chill this week.
Mike G.
You had a weekend, bro.
Neil reaching around. Yes, to slap your mom on the ass. 100% Mike G. So, yes, you're absolutely right, Mike G. All right, let's take the break. When we come back,
Wow.
let's get into this. What?
That was a delayed reaction. All right.
Just realized.
Harvey Wallbanger, Dante, the Browns reached for Sanders, LOL. We're going to get into that later on.
Reach in the 5th round.
We're gonna get into that in the 5th round.
I think they actually smart for doing that. Because this guarantees that what's the name ain't finna see the field. Deshaun Watson,
That fucking
you cooked.
That quarterback room in Cleveland
It's nuts,
What
bro.
is going on?
It's fucking nuts.
I would like to
but
see
you
a
got options.
Listen, that battle royale between the Giants quarterback room and the Browns quarterback room would be unbelievable. Those room, I thought, honest to God, I thought Dion was going to bail, or excuse me, Jerry Jones was going to bail out Dion. I really did.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for the Cowboys to take him.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones sit there smiling like the butcher's dog because he and Dion have the relationship going back 30 years. I thought that was going to be the situation. It didn't work out, but that was a message. Let's be honest. That was a message to Dion. It was a message.
Absolutely.
Was he
an absolute
blackballed?
message.
248.
Lunchbox in the chat. Neil, can we just shout out that the NFL let Brad build a future offensive line in one draft? That was kind of the vibes that I was getting, no doubt. Where else was it?
And you know what's crazy?
There it is. Yes.
Penei Sewell is the same age as those guys.
I know.
That's nuts for real.
He's literally the same age as Miles Frazier and Tate.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. And he's the best offensive lineman in the NFL.
I'm salty in the chat. Tesla would have went undrafted.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, dog. Come on, dog.
All right.
He definitely wasn't going undrafted.
Just like you remember what we heard the first night?
Yeah, Tyreek Williams.
Tyreek would have gone
He
late
would've been there
second
in the
round.
third.
And then he comes out later and says, the Bills called me. They were taking me.
I was on the phone with the Bills. Okay, cool.
And literally, the start of the second round, there was 5 defensive tackles that went off the board.
Yeah.
Stick just sent me this. I thought it was pretty good. Shout out to the Browns quarterback room.
It's over for Deshaun, though. It's wraps for him.
Dude, that is
Y'all have guaranteed he won't see the field. I'm cool with it.
Now you put that up again, the Giants room with our
Same
boy,
thing,
America's
yeah.
quarterback there.
Whichever one of y'all motherfuckers want the job can have the job. With Deshaun not finna be doing it though.
Burn in the chat and the super chat. KG's alter ego, Kelvin Shepard, smashed the table. He wanted Tyreek so bad, according to his interview. I'm in Hudsonville today for work, home of the Model T.
And Brad, he sat down with Dan Miller, and they just released it yesterday. He said that they had been watching Tyreek since 2023. They thought he would come out early, but that's somebody that they've been had their eyes on. So
Love the kid. Great pick.
Okay, let's do the break, and then we jump off the diving board into the NFL draft pool. Tell them about Jars.
I will tell them about Jars because everyone wants to welcome Deli Day the right way, and you can do it with Jars. It's a statewide celebration on May 3rd to kick off full deli-style experience. Jars will host the Deli Day on May 3rd, offering a stacked lineup of in-store promotions. Customers can receive a free eighth of flour. Take advantage of BOGO deals on deli-style flour up to an ounce, and the first 100 customers will score a free half ounce. The date marks a significant milestone for Jars as the anniversary of the retailer opening up its very first store in Detroit, a fitting tribute to its roots and continued evolution. For more information on Deli Day and participating locations, visit shopjars.com or follow Jars_life on Instagram for updates. It's Deli Day at Jars. Make sure you go check it out.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, sit down, relax, get an award-winning haircut from one of our lovely, talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. You get a hot leather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment, all that good stuff wrapped up in the King's treatment. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
All right, pulling up hour number 2 of the show already, which is kind of insane, but here we are. Big D Energy, wow. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean, KG, Chasing the Chase, Lounge, Spencer Raxter, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Subscribe if you have not already. We will crack 81,000 subscribers probably by the end of the day. And let's talk about it, man. Lions draft. We'll get into the national end of it a little bit as well. Full Slate Farms. Neil killed me when I said Davenport or bust early in March. What now, Neil? LOL. I do not recall that conversation. I don't understand why I would.
That's right.
Because
get on your counter stallions. Get on it.
All I remember is talking about Davenport is we got him for basically league veteran minimum.
Yeah.
Like it's like a free spin.
Mm-hmm. And before the draft, I was trying to warn people, it's a possibility he's probably your starting edge.
He is.
To start the year.
He absolutely is. Yeah. He was last year. He's going to be this year if he's healthy.
They believe in
Unless they sign Zadarius.
Unless they sign. But even then, I think they would have.
Maybe, yeah, it's a chance.
Even then, I think they would have Davenport being the starter. They like how he plays the run. They like how big he is. If the game week 1, if Marcus Davenport isn't the starting defensive end opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, then he is probably injured.
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal, Sean, for me. I'm going to ask everybody kind of what jumped out. This whole edge phenomenon that Brad Holmes didn't draft an edge, and this was obviously they did on the last day of the draft.
Yeah.
But I don't get, Sean, do people not realize, like Aiden Hutchinson is still on this team.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the premier edges in the National Football League.
Yep.
He will be back this year. Did everybody like the looks of things that when that ball got kicked off in Dallas? Was everybody comfortable with the way the edge situation was that day?
Yeah.
Well, he's back, everybody.
7.5.
He's back.
And that was without Davenport. We lost Davenport a few weeks before that.
I don't get the edge thing. I don't understand it. Guys, Aiden Hutchinson, who is pretty good, is back this year. I like the edge spot for the Lions. We have one of the preeminent ones in football. Like, sorry, Sean, I just can't understand this pushback and how Brad failed because he didn't get an edge. I'll never get it, Sean.
Well,
I never will. Help
one.
me.
I love the idea of having a behemoth in the middle of the line, and I say that with respect.
They helped Hutch with the first pick.
Now you legitimately are going to take some pressure off of Hutch. I think the man could eat and eat a lot. Okay, and it's not so much what Williams is going to do year 1, but what Williams is going to mean down the line. You need a disruptor in the middle of the line. You need a guy that can blow things up, that again is going to draw the attention of somebody who, instead of chipping Hutch, just getting that little chip in, like that little gnat that just keeps swatting at you. No. He doesn't have to worry about that. It works in concert, Neil. It just does. It's like what these guys are doing in the middle opens up some things on the outside and vice versa. So, to me, I wish I had an answer for you, Neil. I don't get it. It is a unit, and the unit just got better. Not the position, okay? The unit. The Lions' defensive line just got better. The Lions' front seven. The Lions' pass rush. The run defense just got infinitely better with the
and was
addition of
already
this
hella
guy.
good to
And
begin
it was,
with.
Right. So I get it. It comes back to people like the shiny things. They do. And this isn't necessarily shiny to a lot of people. And I don't get it. Because again, if we're all going to sit back, I hope there's nobody out there that disagrees with this. If we're all going to sit back, and not that long ago, Neil, people were. It's all about the trenches. It is all about the trenches. It's about both sides of the ball. The Lions just improved both sides of the trenches enormously.
It's what they value.
Okay, I'm cool. Count me in.
And it's not that they don't value edge. It's just on Brad Holmes' priority list, he feels like the edge room is good enough to just get a guy late, and you
Which
can
it
improve
is,
that
because
way.
they have one of the best of them in football.
Exactly.
I want to keep bringing that up because apparently people have forgotten.
No, it's real. But they value the trenches. They value stopping the run. That's what they did.
It's mind-boggling to me. No, I'm not being funny. You know what? Maybe it's just the instant reaction. Maybe as the weeks go on, people come around because I mean, sometimes you react in emotion. We're all guilty of it. But there's nothing sexy about this draft until you watch it play itself out during the season, and then all of a sudden you're going to find yourself getting Chubb. I mean, I will. I mean, you bring up the Dallas game. Do you remember how good that line as constructed was before the injuries started taking their toll? Do you remember how good that was? I'm sorry, that's boner-inducing for me. It is. That's how my pants fall off most Sundays.
Shit.
And I saw a lot of it like, Hutch can't do it by himself. Hutch can't do it. Well, if this is by himself, he quite literally was doing it by himself.
Literally.
He had 7.5 sacks in 4 games.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, sorry, forgot. No, it was.
No, he didn't. It's the worst edge setup in the league.
Yeah, no, he got no help. Can't
No
do
help
it.
whatsoever. Can't do it.
Everybody got a book in but us.
Yep, everybody does. Jason Kenyon. Tesla is in a reach. He's a future number 3. Look at who we have in contracts. The draft is nothing but dogs.
Thank you.
Holmes and Dan we're looking for. So again, I don't get that. The whole people crying about an edge, and
I love the Tyreek Williams pick. I think it's a great pick.
This is a man who has shown repeatedly that he doesn't give a shit
Right.
about what order of needs are. He gives a shit about fits.
Mm-hmm.
And he's proven it every draft, Spenny.
And I don't know how many times that he has to say it, or how many times that Brad Holmes has to come out and look at a camera and say it, that he doesn't use the draft to fill needs.
Yeah.
He uses the draft to acquire talent.
Bam!
Like, that's what he did. He got talent. And like I said,
At needy positions,
I
though.
could sit here and act like I'm mad because they didn't get an edge, and there were guys there, and I wanted one of them, and I did. I wanted an edge in the first couple rounds. I did. I really like all the picks he made. They're all really good football players. I'm not going to sit here and get mad at it for why.
And he did get an edge.
And he
it
did
ain't
get
the
an
one
edge.
y'all wanted, but he
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to good things from him.
And an edge that most evaluators say has an incredible amount of upside.
Yes.
potential.
And
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure everybody saw the call, right? Man, if that doesn't get you fired up, you don't got a heartbeat in your chest.
Yeah.
Man.
no doubt.
That was awesome.
Great
electric.
story, great kid, is a scheme fit. Everything you want him to be. He produced in college. The game tape is there.
Did
so.
you see the video of him at the combine yelling at the coach?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, let's go to the coach. And the coach is like yelling at him. I was like, oh, well, that's why they fucking drafted
Yep.
him. Like, he's a Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell guy. And he has only been playing football for 5 years. And he has shown the ability to get to the passer at a high level. Like, I mean, am I going to say that, oh, there it is, we're good?
He's
we
got to
him?
start and have 13 sacks next year. He's
no,
a bust.
I think he's going to be a player for the Lions.
Yeah.
I hate draft grades. It is one of my most hated things
I'm
in
done,
all of
Sean. I'm done.
sports.
I'm done with them.
so-
For real. I'm done with them.
Can
You
we-
don't know the board.
Can we do it 2 years later? Can we have that conversation 2 years later? I reminded everybody, and Neil, you probably remember this. You guys Go look at Matt Millen's draft grades the day after drafts. They were unbelievable. All his buddies in the national media, oh, that Matt Millen, Detroit, you got a winner. You got a guy that understands ball. And all his draft grades were phenomenal. And I challenge anybody, go back and look at Brad Holmes' drafts 2 years after the fact. I contend, and KG, you and I have talked about this so often, I contend we can't even really get a gauge of what the 2024 draft is until after this season. Let's talk again after 2024. I guarantee you people will feel differently after this season about the 2024 draft than they do now.
I hope so, because they putting pressure. They talking about, the 2024 draft has to show out this year. I'm like,
oh, yeah, with a starting guard.
Yeah.
In the 6th round.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And as you've said so many times, at worst, a CB2.
At worst, a CB2. Who you got in the 20s?
Well, and rookies never get better anyway.
No,
rookies,
especially
never,
at cornerback.
They never get better. They never
and a special teams borderline Pro Bowl.
So forget it. This is what Terry Arnold is. There's going to be no development.
You know what? I was going to go to the break. Look at where the Lions are right now as a franchise. Look at where they are.
Yep.
You're not going to go out into this draft and get somebody who's going to walk in the door and take over the league as a rookie. There's no room for them.
They don't need that.
Who are they going to play in front of?
They don't need that.
For real. They don't need that. Who are you going to go get that's going to walk in here and put this team over the top immediately for next year's Super Bowl?
At 28.
At 28. Name
Not
one.
in the draft. Not in the draft. It ain't happening, honey.
Did we forget that this was a 15-2 team last year? Did it in the way we wanted it to? No, it certainly did not. But that doesn't take away from what they are as a franchise. And the trades with the draft picks that I keep hearing people say, people at this network even, that are flipping about the trades, they don't have enough roster spots for all the draft picks that they have.
Yeah.
They don't. This is where they are.
Shout out Aaron Glenn for Tesla.
This is where they are right now, guys.
And you could even argue they did get day one guys. Tyreek is somebody that could start day one considering the Aleem situation. Tate Ratledge, he could beat out Graham Glasgow day one.
He could. Guys, look at where they are. As a friend, what did you think was going to happen in this draft?
The savior, Neil.
Paint the dream scenario for me. Someone in the chat, please tell me who you expected to descend down upon the Lions franchise and sprinkle their greatness on them and make this team arrive. Who was it?
The greatness of this draft was the meat of this draft. It was, Neil. That was the greatness of this draft. This wasn't a top-notch...
Praise Javier.
Praise Javier.
Who was it, Sean?
No, this wasn't that draft. You were going to get some meat. You were going to get some meat.
Yahoo Sports called it, this is an eat your vegetables draft for the Lions.
I love that. I like that comparison. I do. I like that. Or you know what? Neil, to me, this was... You went and got some deli meat. You didn't get the high-end deli meat. I didn't go get the finest prosciutto. But you know what? I got enough to make a good Italian grinder, man, and I'm going to eat. And I think that's what this team's going to be doing. You know what? Now, here's where things get interesting. Do you want to make that impact guy? Do you want to find that impact guy? Well, I'm going to trust Brad, but, the Hendricksons, the guys like that, who's going to become available? Things are going to reveal themselves as the season goes on, and situations are going to reveal themselves, and maybe that's when Brad can do that fuck them picks type of deal, right? But let's wait. As is right now, I think the Lions are okay for this year. And most importantly, I think they're okay to keep this run going for quite some time. And that's all we wanted was a relevant year-in, year-out franchise. Yes, I got to have one. Yes, we all got to have one. But this is a very relevant franchise right now because the way this dude builds the squad.
And, Neil, I like what you said, before we went into the show. You would like to see the Lions at full strength go against the Eagles at full strength, and let's see how it's really laying out.
Let's run it out,
that's the part we forget about, too. You had so many guys injured last year that are coming back.
When we step on that line, boy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can I bring up something Terry brought up yesterday? And I want to give Terry full credit for this.
You want to save it for when we come back?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Can we talk about the window? I want to talk about the
window.
Yes.
The magic window.
Yes, we will. All right, let me do this from Dante.
A grinder and a hoagie?
Dante 151 in the super chat.
A grinder is good.
Did people forget Mekhi Wingo can play both the defensive line and defensive edge positions? Just think Hutch, Reeder, Williams, Wingo, or Davenport as your starting defensive lineup. So there's that out there as well. Tell about Mark White, Spenny.
Mark White, a lot of new draft picks for the Detroit Lions. Might be needing a place to stay. Make sure you hit up Mark White because he can save you up to $5,000 your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Visit him at markwhitesells.com or give him a call at 248-290-8242. It's Mark White. He's going to put you in your dream home. You know he's going to get you the best deal. Make sure you hit him up, markwhitesells.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
New rule for Caesar Sportsbook. That's right. Use a promo code Woodward1000. Scan the QR code on the screen. Make your first deposit with the promo code Woodward1000. Then that way when you make your first bet, if your first bet loses, you'll get it back as a free bonus bet. All the way up to $1,000, everyone. Say you put $1,000 on the Lions to take a linebacker in the draft. You lost, but you got it back, right? Because you used the promo code Woodward1000 when you made your first bet, when you made your deposit. It is that simple. It's Caesar Sportsbook, man. They're Caesars. They're one of the OGs in the game. The app doesn't glitch. It's easy to navigate, easy to read. All of that. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. All right, we're keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Sean, Belizean, KG, Chasing the Chase Lounge, Spencer Baxter, the Buddies Pizza.
Got him.
Again, shout out Buddies.
Oh, man.
They kept the pizzas flying out of that
shit
oven
was
for
great.
us.
What a great spot. Hey, I got to bring up something Terry said, and I hope you guys remember this because all last fall, I was on the I'm scared of the Eagles train. I was. I hope you guys remember that. Now, I know a lot of people in the chat gave me shit for it. That's okay. Terry brought up a great point because I think there are a lot of people out there, and I don't know the number. I mean, I'll ask all you guys there are legitimately a lot of people out there that think the Lions window is closed. Okay.
What?
I mean, fine. And as you, Neil, as you pointed out, we have one of the best players in the National Football League coming back. We were 15-2, all that stuff. And Terry brought up a great point when we were doing our show yesterday. Can we go back a year ago at this time? A year ago? Do you know what people were saying about the Philadelphia Eagles?
Window was closed.
The window was shut. You have to start over. You have to get rid of Sirianni.
Jalen Hurts the answer.
You can't continue. I mean, you see the way the season ended? Mm-hmm. Oh, you have to get rid of Sirianni. Right? And I mean, I think those circumstances were a lot more drastic than what the Lions dealt with. Because you're talking about a team that was healthy that for inexplicable reasons
fell
collapsed.
off a cliff, yeah.
There was no collapse with the Lions, and we had a historic level of injuries. Guys, I get it. I want the Super Bowl as badly, if not more, than many of you, okay? But to suggest that the window's closed, I can't give you any moral support for that, man. I think it's crazy talk.
No, it is. And look, the Eagles are a slight bit further down the road than we are because I'm looking at it right now. In 2028, they have $200 million on the books. Mm-hmm. $200 million on the books in 2028. Mm-hmm. So, yes, it is the window. The window is open. They're in the window right now. Woodward Sports chat thread, because I asked a question. What did people want? Kenneth Matthews, Mingo is a player, but what other teams exposed is that our front seven could not get to mobile QBs. Can Aiden Hutchinson get to a mobile QB?
Yes.
Yes.
You know he's back?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's still with the Lions. And they picked up his 5th-year option too. So we have him for 2 more years. He played at Michigan, by the way. And he was very, very good in the beginning of his career in the NFL. Very, very good. I know that for some reason we just pretend that he's not here anymore, but he is in fact still under contract. And I will continue to say this because apparently the people don't know. Where do you think the Lions rank in terms of edge rooms in the league?
Definitely not the worst.
I mean, they got to be top 10 because of Aiden Hutchinson.
Because of Aiden Hutchinson. 100%.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's only like 3
How
guys.
can you say that?
There's only like 3 guys in the NFL that you'd rather have than Aiden Hutchinson. I would say it's Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt.
Who's the Browns' other edge off the top of your head?
It
Who's
was
the-
Darius Smith. I don't know who it is.
Oh, well, we got him.
Yeah.
You know, like we traded for him and probably could sign him. Who's the Raiders' other edge off the top of your head?
They don't have one.
I don't know.
They don't have one.
You
Not a
notice
notable
theme?
one.
Farrell, maybe?
Yeah,
Is he still around?
Lyle Alzado.
Yeah.
Howie Long.
Say that
Is that what
again.
you were saying, Spenny?
Yeah, Farrell.
Yeah, Cleveland Farrell was on the Commanders last year.
Do you see their fan base? Like, who's the Eagles' other edge now? That Sweat's gone.
Nolan Smith.
No, who did they sign? They signed
Bryce
somebody.
Huff.
Yeah, was it Bryce Huff?
I don't know.
They signed somebody to that, but yeah.
I'm tired of hearing it. I am like Brad Holmes up here right now. I'm tired of hearing about it. They're fine in the edge room. They are fine. They have one of the best in football.
He drafted out of spite, confirmed. He looked at all of our chats and all of our comments and said, fuck y'all. I'm taking the edge in the 6 on day 3. Fuck y'all.
In the chat, because I asked a question, what did you want? Doctero said they all wanted a Hutch clone. That's what I'm getting. I think Doctero's right.
So does every single team in the NFL.
Exactly. We all want that. We all want
Right?
that.
That's exactly
And guess
what
where
it
you
is.
got Hutch? Pick number 2.
So what are we talking about here? For real. Like, guys, I'm not bullshitting you here. I'm not trying to be smarmy with it. Bird in the super chat. We didn't lose to the Commanders because of no edge rush. We lost because 3 defensive tackles blew up our IOL on 3rd and 1. Goff was shook the rest of the game. I mean, trenches, definitely. Trenches makes a difference in a football game. So I don't know, Sean. And, like, look, we look at it, just the draft as a whole. Joe says if Zeke comes back, we're top 5 in the league in edges. That was kind of my thought was we've never seen Hutch and Zadarius Smith play with each other.
Can I ask y'all a question? Do you think it's a coincidence that Z's hung around town and the Lions signed his nephew as well? Do you think?
That's not a coincidence.
Are those just coincidences? Honestly. And don't get me wrong, you're not going to sign his nephew to make Z happy, okay?
Right.
This is a guy that, I mean, that's the way Brad Holmes does business. He's looking at guys to help his football team. But do you think those are just coincidences? I made the joke, listen, this might be the old Barry Sanders thing, late Barry Sanders. You remember the routine, Neil. Barry will be at camp eventually. He'll show up. But you know what? Here's a dude. He's been there, done that. He's got the mileage. Show up when you show up. Just when the bell rings, go do Z things, right? And here's the thing. This always makes me laugh. We never got a chance to see Z with the full complement around him either.
Nope.
How many people sat back and said, this is Darius Thomas. Isn't much ado about nothing. Well, you know what? His job's a little easier when Aiden Hutchinson is there, when you have competent disruptors in the middle of the line as well. So, again, I keep using this word. It's a unit. This group is going to perform as a unit.
No, it's not, Sean.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Where you hear that shit?
Yeah. I'm being too much of a slappy.
Oh, and by the way, Zadarius took over that Bears game. By the way,
For
the people that forgot.
Yeah.
For the people that forgot.
That was awesome.
Okay, so
I
here
don't
it
want
is.
the fan base relying on that either. It could not make it back.
You guys, this is going to prove to you that I don't do the straw man shit. Jeff Shank, you're banking on Hutch coming back exactly how he was before his injury, SMH. Okay, so he's cooked. He's washed. Hutch is washed. Spenny, I like when I do this to you. Not because you're in angst right now. That I don't like that part of it, but because it just proves the point. Like, this is out there.
They exist amongst us.
Dr. Clappin Cheeks, who we enjoy his content. I was honestly 100% okay with the draft, but Neil is single-handedly missing me off saying our edge room is so good. Aiden Hutchinson stinks.
Makes you have pressure from the inside. Like, you guys, I'm not trying to be an ass when I say that. I'm trying to, like, be serious. And this is reasoning, Sean, okay? Your edges become more lethal when you have pressure from the inside.
Absolutely. And nobody's saying, like, we have the perfect edge room.
No.
It's just not as much of a factor as y'all make it out to be.
And it's better than most.
Yes. And that's why Brad
and
got
it's
one
good
in the
enough
6.
to win.
Because I said this on the morning show. If Brad felt like it was a dire need and we absolutely had to have an edge in here, he would have did what he did in 2023 when he rehauled the goddamn corner room.
Yep.
That was a severe need. We lost the NFC Championship game because of that need. He went out and overhauled that position. He obviously doesn't feel the same way as us.
You lost your cornerback one in Carlton Davis, and he went out there and he signed one of the best cornerbacks on the market. He fills needs in free agency. He obviously didn't think the edge was as big of a need as everybody else does. Would I like him to draft an edge? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody fucking wanted that.
But they got really good players, man. They got a lot of really, really good players.
Cue Ball 93, a room is not one person. So we just drilled down on it. The texter was right. They wanted a Hutchinson clone. That's what they wanted. Then, guys, that's your fault.
It's a unit.
That is your fault if you expected that.
Your
fault. So it was Abdul Carter or bust for the Lions, and that was the only thing that anybody was going to be like, oh, well, the Lions had a good draft.
So let the Lions go 2-15. We can be at the top of the draft, and we can go get a Hutch clone.
Like, I think this is a good time to break. I know we're a minute or two early. I think it's a good time to break.
Oh, I checked out a minute and a half ago.
Yeah, I'm going to recalibrate, and we're going to get in.
Spenny and I were looking at some of the things passing by.
Yeah. There's still been more positive feedback on the Lions draft, and I'm actually happy about that as a fan base.
Yeah, so let's talk about the draft.
Yeah.
Instead of some bullshit.
Because there was some positives. A lot of positives.
Okay, Mad Packs.
Yeah.
This chat needs some Mad Packs.
Definitely needs some Mad Packs. What up, though, everybody? Spenmo Rags here for Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the hottest new cannabis brand and is partnering with Woodward Sports. You know what that means? I'm going to be feeling good all summer long. Mad Packs is going to take your game to the next level. High-low is giving you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality, unbeatable prices. Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. As a live resin-infused tarantula, this one's the bomb. Blizzard Packs THCA Moon Rocks that hit like a blizzard, coming to retailers in May 2025. Stay tuned with Woodward Sports Network for all the latest updates. It's Mad Packs.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Loom Cannabis is your one-stop shop for all of your cannabis desires. Whether it's their buzzin' drinks that are delicious, you can get their live rosin carts, some pre-rolls, anything you need. Loom has you covered with the best product in the game. Get 30% off your entire order using promo code WSN30. Scan that QR code on the screen to shop Loom's great selection. It's Loom Cannabis, loom.com.
All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Sean Belizian in for DMAC, KG, Spencer Raxter, Chase in the Chase Lounge, all of you.
Behave yourself.
Sean Duff, welcome to the Woodward crew. Appreciate you tapping in.
Shout out
to you.
Welcome to the gang. Gang, gang.
Russell Hawk, I love the edge from Boise State. The ceiling's very high. His motor is 100 miles per hour. Maybe we did find what we were looking for. Well, Russell, if he doesn't have 14 sacks next year, then he's a bum. Get him out of here. Sean, the Lions draft. Your thoughts, wherever you want to go with it.
You know what? I liked it. It made sense. You aren't going to get immediate help through the draft. It's just that simple.
And that's because, sorry to cut you off, Sean, that's because of this organization and the level of talent they have.
Well, that's what smart organizations do. Really, truly. Okay, you might get an exception. Hey, who knows? You know what? Pick any one of those names. Maybe one of them blows up. He would be an exception to the rule. As we talked about ad nauseum last week, this is a guy that comes from the Bill Parcells school. And Bill Parcells thinks rookies are dumb and do dumb rookie things. And he doesn't like to put rookies in positions where they can do, here it comes, dumb rookie things. That doesn't mean that these guys can't contribute. This is a franchise now. It's the house, the analogy that we use forever. Now you're going and getting some things around the house. And after a couple of years, you know what you have to do? Sometimes, you know what? You need a new roof. Sometimes you need to change that light fixture. You have to go paint the back wall. And I think that's what Brad Holmes is doing. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't other things. Yes, for sure. As we sit here today, Zadarius Smith is not a Detroit Lion, okay? I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt he is going to be a Detroit Lion. And so I think, therefore, because of that, I'm not so worried about the edge position as many other people are. So we'll see. It was a good draft. All right, and let's wait and see what it is in a couple of years. Because as I look at it right now, all right, let's be completely honest. As I look at it right now, if 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we're sitting back and you have 4 starters, you won. You won. And oh, by the way, there's still a couple guys that are going to be, the special teams type of demons and be depth guys. Okay.
That safety from Georgia is going to be great on special teams.
That's exactly who I'm looking at. Yeah. And probably if Lovett as well.
Yeah.
Lovett's a guy that can.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
But if you're talking about 2 guys on my offensive line that replace 2 aging guys, if you're talking about an edge that you got where you got in the draft, and those guys are all starting along with Isaac, who is part of your rotation, who is one of your 5, what more could we ask for? Well, I'm not being funny. What more could we ask for?
I also see Lovett as kind of a Khalif Raymond replacement, because now that you are signing your guys, now that you made Kirby Joseph the highest paid safety in the NFL, now that you paid Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell and Jared Goff, and you're going to give Aiden Hutchinson $40 million, you're not going to be able to keep the contracts like Alex Anzalone and DJ Reader and Khalif Raymond. You're going to have to replace those middle-tier contracts or those secondary contracts with rookies. So a guy like Lovett would be the fill-in for a Khalif Raymond spot. A guy like Tyleik Williams, he is immediately going to take over for DJ Reader once DJ Reader isn't on this team next year. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Isn't it amazing we keep saying 2 years? I mean, really, 2, and that's why I refuse when you draft grades. Now, do I look at them? Of course I look at them. I do. But I look at them with the sense of mock. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not talking about mock drafts, like mocking, like, ha, could you be that dumb? Let's wait 2 years. Let's have a conversation. And again, I mean, for Lion fans out there, all we have to do is look no further than Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack. That's it. That's it. And I call myself out. I was one of those guys, openly admitted. I don't know how many guys are like going to admit it. I was one of, what the hell are you doing, Brad? Now I get it. Mm-hmm. Brad, you were right. There's a reason why I sit here, and there's a reason why you sit where you
Once you understand the vision, then it's like, how can you be mad at this draft? You really can't.
We were talking about 2028, and I brought up the fact that the Eagles have $200 million on their cap already in 2028. To compare that, the Lions have 180.
Yep.
So that's, you guys see like the roadmap here. Mm-hmm. They're getting up to that. I just, if you can't understand that,
but you got a good system in which you can keep drafting and paying your own guys. That's the whole goal of this thing. So,
Woodward Sports chat thread. Terrell FL. This team is currently constructed, isn't winning a championship. I don't need to hope for anything. So all right, then that's it.
He's out.
Can I ask? What's the hang-up? This instead
Well,
of,
hold on.
listen.
Grommet 2 texts later says
Okay.
this, Sean. When you have a lackluster pass rush and Goff still throws interceptions, you'll maybe learn that you need a mobile quarterback and an edge rusher, but you guys are Brad bots. So there's Grommet's answer to your question.
All right, Grommet.
I love this from
No,
Sean.
I literally, I want to talk to you. Who is the other guy, Terrell T.
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah, Terrell from Memphis.
Can I, and I'm being serious, what's your problem with Aiden Hutchinson? Seriously, Grommet, that's for you. That's for you. I'm talking to you specifically. Oh my gosh! What is your problem with Aiden Hutchinson?
He's not good. He's washed. He's hurt. It's over.
Is that no? I'd love to hear from Grommet.
That's got to be it. Right?
Help me out, Grommet. Would you also understand? Now I'm Grommet, my man. I'm talking to you. Okay, stay with me here. Do you also understand that his job becomes a lot easier when there's pressure coming in the inside, and guys have to concern themselves about that inside pressure and those disruptors coming from the middle? At least tell me you understand that. I'm going to say it. I can't help you if there's a general misunderstanding about the game of football. I can't, okay? I can try to explain things, but I can't help you if you're going to. So instead, what I'm going to do, is there a problem with Aiden Hutchinson? Can you at least entertain the thought? I'm not saying, boy, I guess you're right. Can you at least entertain the thought that an edge might have more freedom if they have to worry about doubling guys up the gut? And to use your point, your point, since you brought Jared Goff into the equation as well, can you understand that maybe a quarterback makes less turnovers and throws for less interceptions if he's protected very well? Because it's not like we saw that from his jump to the Rams to the Lions or anything, right? Is it at inopportune times? You betcha. Still, everybody has to acknowledge that. I like Jared Goff. I like him a lot. Do we still see a little bit of it at inopportune times? Yeah, of course, okay? But I'll take the good and compare it to the bad. But like the fact that, Neil, people misunderstand this. It blows my fucking mind!
He couldn't own it. I knew it.
It's not... Well, that's not... I'm going to check out again.
Okay.
Spenny, is there anybody walking by that we can...
I haven't seen any
No,
much,
there
yeah.
hasn't been any talent?
Not really any talent.
But Neil, like to the grommets of the world, okay? If you protect your quarterback's a better quarterback.
Yeah, that normally
Ask
works.
Patrick Mahomes.
If you put on a pass rush, your secondary is a better secondary.
Yeah.
Ask the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that same Super Bowl.
I don't. Right? And if you have a problem with Aiden Hutchinson, the floor's yours. Tell me what your problem with Aiden Hutchinson is. The only thing that I can ascertain is that which you said, Neil, is he's coming off a horrific injury. He'll never be the same. Well, I can't answer that. I really can't. I think that's dumb thinking because it's a broken bone, for goodness sake. A very badly broken bone, I might add. But I can't definitively sit here today and say that, oh yeah, it's going to be Hutch at the level that we all expect him. I have a pretty good feeling it will be. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I have a pretty good feeling it will be.
Sean, the Lions roster against the Commanders is what they're going to have week 1. Yeah. That's the team. Yeah. That's who it is.
Same team back out
there
there.
wasn't 20-plus guys on injured reserve. That is the team.
Yep.
Those are the guys you have.
That's the edge room.
That's it. It is those guys that you saw against the Commanders because that was our starting roster and that was our team at full strength. And that's how
that
good
is
they
what
are.
Brad Holmes had in mind
Yeah.
in last year's draft.
That was the vision.
Through free agency and at the opening kick, he's like, if I can just get rid of these guys like Hutch and get them out of there and get my guys in there, you'll see. You'll all see. Woodward Sports chat thread, Grim, realistically, if Hutch goes down again this year, we are cooked. Guys, okay, let me do this again. Let me do this again, guys. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works in the National Football League.
How good are the Steelers going to be if T.J. Watt gets hurt?
Right.
Like, come on, guys. What are we
speed
doing?
bump. We just
If the best fucking player on our team, not named Penei Sewell, gets hurt, we might not be that good. No fucking shit, buddy. What do you mean?
Look at the Chiefs last year in that Super Bowl.
Oh my God!
Just missing an offensive line piece, right?
Yeah, speed bump. I actually want to ask you about the third round pick. I know we're up against a break, but that was the biggest point of contention for a lot of people with the draft was the trade up, trading the threes. I've never seen fans care so much about third round picks in my life, but they traded the third round picks to get Tesla, and I wanted to know what you felt about that.
I'll have an answer for you. Coming up, let's talk about Buddy's Pizza.
Elite.
Buddy's Pizza, the #1 Detroit-style pizza. They invented it. How can they not be #1? They created it since 1946. And guess what also? Go to buddyspizza.com, make your lunch order today, your dinner order today, use the code 10MEAL. You'll get 10% off.
Look at that.
We were down at the downtown Detroit location down there on Broadway. If you're going to a Tigers game this summer, pull up and have some Detroit-style pizza. They got the outdoor seating down there, man. It is an elite spot. An elite downtown spot, but there's over 20 of them around the Metro Detroit area. Go to buddyspizza.com. The OGs, they invented it since 1946. Buddy's Pizza, you already know, right? You know.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule for Woodward Merch. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. Get the F Them Pick shirts. Get the Boo Dem Kid shirts. You're going to be on the golf course soon. There's a Woodward Sports golf line. Rep it out there on the golf course. The Tigers wear all of it. We have the best. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Can I bring up what I just said to you guys during the break?
Yes,
please?
Mr. Sean Belesian here on Big D Energy. Please do.
I'm trying really hard.
I'm sorry I did this to
it's
you.
okay.
Don't
it's
let
all
him
right.
do it, man.
I'm
Speed
trying
bump.
really hard. And I think Spenny just brought something up. And I'm going to ask everybody out there right now, okay? Because if something happens to Hutch, we're dead. And right? Okay, all right. The Philadelphia Eagles backup quarterback
was Kenny Pickett.
Was Kenny Pickett.
Don't know.
Anybody out there? Don't look it up.
drawing
Don't
a
look it
blank.
up. I want to see if one human being can name it. I'm not being funny.
Nobody.
Clayton Tune.
Tanner McKee. If the Super Bowl champions, this is like Hot Take Central, right? I'm going to turn into Mad Dog.
Oh, shit.
If the Super Bowl champions lose their quarterback, then there is no way Tanner McKee's going to win that Super Bowl.
You got to go walk up to the camera and put your face in the camera like you're
I
Ace
threw my
Ventura.
hat at the TV. You missed it. Gosh damn it. Of course. These are the conversations that we have. Stop yourselves for just a second. Yes, I don't like the chances for the Lions if Aiden Hutchinson goes down. I agree.
Josh Mansfeld in the Woodward Sports chat says McKee, and he is a baller.
Oh, shit.
Of course he is. And when he isn't, Kyle McCord is.
And
Kyle McCord is now third on their depth chart.
There were people that wanted the Lions to take Shedeur Sanders yesterday.
Yeah, well, we don't talk to them.
People at this network.
We don't talk to them.
People that'll be on this show be on this network after the show's
you
over.
lying, bro. Who?
Was there not, Spenny?
I
Who?
cannot confirm nor deny.
Well, you can't read?
No,
You can't read?
I didn't see it. I didn't see the tweet. I'm sure it was.
Neil, come on with it. Who said it?
I'm sure it was. I know he likes him a lot, and I saw him saying to take a shot on Kyle McCord, I think.
No.
So if
bro,
he's talking,
Told you.
Yeah, if he's talking
All right.
about that, he might as well.
Anyway, in the super chat,
Yeah.
I got to answer Kenny's question. Keith
I know he likes him a
Gallardo.
lot.
I'm convinced Lions fans are mad about the draft due to the habit of being mad and the comfort of being mad on draft day. Old habits die hard.
Right.
There is a comfort in being upset on draft day.
That's money.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right.
Jason Kenyon with the super chat.
Shout out.
If it is someone bad, Lions fans, please help me out. I'll set up a GoFundMe. Please donate millions. I'll build a stadium for the Fords to move the Lions to here in Oklahoma. We'd love to have a second pro team.
He might.
F Dallas.
Jason Kenyon might do it. He got the pocketbook.
No doubt.
Shout out to him, man.
Shout out Jason Kenyon.
And yes, I'm salty. We all wanted an edge. We have to adjust our thinking when we don't get our way. That's the problem with most fans.
Just a fan. That sounds like easy. No, it was not easy.
It's not easy.
It was not easy, as a matter of fact. Okay, you asked me the question.
Yeah.
And about the
Stockton.
Isaac Tesla pick, the wide receiver out of Arkansas.
Easy crashed out about it. And I get the argument, third-round picks can help you get into the first round, but it takes more than just third-round picks to get back in the first round.
I'll address that first.
Yeah.
They are in a spot now where they can't physically use all the draft picks.
Exactly.
Much like the Oklahoma City Thunder. There are more draft picks than they have spots. How many roster spots do they even have? What, 9?
What, in the NBA?
No, for the Lions right now.
Oh, for the Lions? Yeah,
Remaining,
not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, yeah.
Okay? They can't physically use all of them. And I'm surprised that people would feel that way, because here's how I think this played out. And I don't know. I haven't talked to Brad, and I'll go to Sean, and I'll ask, mark me on this if this just sounds logical. I heard Brad Holmes talk about the story of they saw him at the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
And that was the first time they saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went and did their digging and stuff like that. They said, we have to have this guy. Here's what I think. I think it took that trade package because that's what it was Jacksonville, right, that they traded with? Mm-hmm. That's what Jacksonville commanded for that trade. And they made them take the trade. They were probably like, hey, we'll give you our third and we'll give you fourth next year. And they were like, no, we want a third. Mm-hmm. They're like, all right, we'll give you our third, we'll give you a sixth this year, and we'll give you our fourth next year. And they're like, no, we want the 2/3.
They play
That's what we want. Number one, we didn't give 2/3. We did a pick swap with one of the thirds.
Yeah.
We got their 6 for our third. Mm-hmm. That's number one. We gave up a third, yes, because I believe that Brad Holmes was all in and was going to pay any price, which is what we say we want, right, from Brad?
Right.
Go get your guy.
But
go make them say yeah. I think that they made them say yes to that trade.
And if it was an edge,
that crazy?
If it was an edge, I feel like people would have been hoorah.
No,
but the fact that it was a receiver.
Okay, no. But it's their guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy they wanted. You know, like Amon-Ra St. Brown was his guy. The way Jamison Williams was his guy. Remember how, like, he used a fourth for St. Brown and traded up to get Jamison Williams?
Sure did.
This was his guy. He made them say yes.
I think it's funny how the phrase "let Brad cook" has become so incredible, and yet when he tries to cook, people get mad at what he tries to cook. It's really weird. That's really strange to me. Neil, I think you're barking up the right tree, and I'll take it a step further. They probably felt in that general vicinity, not necessarily the next pick, not necessarily the next few picks, but certainly before their next pick, is Isaac was going to be gone. He's going to be gone. Mm-hmm. And so you know what?
No, he's a 6th round pick, Sean.
Yeah, of course.
He was
so
going to
you
be
go
on the
get your
board.
guy. There's a reason. I'm going to say it again. This is the one undeniable truth that I have learned in all the years of doing this. What we think and what the draft experts think is not what NFL teams think.
Yeah.
I mean, what other evidence do you need? Okay, it's close. I give the draft beatniks like Scott Bischoff a hell of a lot of credit. I give the national guys a hell of a lot of credit. But I always say that go back and look at some mocks. Go back not even a month ago, because a month ago you start to find out what teams really start to think, and you see the changes accordingly in the mock drafts. Look at some of the mock drafts early on. These are guys throwing shit against the wall. Half the teams are playing because they're still in the playoff, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's where we're at. What we think and what they think, going down to Mobile, Alabama, going down to the Reese's, going down wherever.
Right.
You fall in love with the guy. I know for a fact, Ziggy Ansah, they saw Ziggy Ansah and they were like, want, must have, want. And so were multiple other teams. And Ziggy would have been all that. The guy couldn't stay healthy.
Right, he was
so
injured.
That's where
Shout out
we're
Ziggy
at
Ansah,
right
my
now.
man.
You fall in love with the guy. And my guess, and I would say it's a pretty educated guess, they probably knew that there were a few other teams that maybe saw what they saw down at the Senior Bowl and said, we better jump in front of those teams before they do to us what we're about to do to them.
Gromit in the chat, a third for a 6 is not really a pick swap. That's the exact definition of what it is. We'll take your 6, we'll give you our third. That is, in fact, a pick swap. You swap the picks, Gromit. Come on, bro.
It's not a good day.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, you're struggling today, my friend.
And when you just look at the player, I mean, 6'4", runs a 4.4. He's probably your slot of the future. I love Tim Patrick. I love him being a part of his team. He's not going to be a part of his team forever.
Terrell FL, yeah, Brad will pay any price for a 4th-round wide receiver, but not an edge. Brad just wanted to flip off the fan base at this point. I promise you he's not doing things to, quote, flip off the fan base.
People think
Neil,
they're so
you can't,
important, dude. That's the craziest shit.
Neil, you can't say that definitively. I don't care what.
You're right, Sean. You're right.
Cannot say that.
I cannot say that definitively.
Brad,
spite us.
Brad sneaks into these chats and he sees the shit that Terrell TF and Gromit says. And I'm really going to piss these guys off.
Yeah.
He did that to spite us.
Brad, I'm never going to let your alias go, but I know you're in those chats and you're going to show them all.
That's like mental retardation. To say Brad Holmes did this to spite me, to spite the fan base, that is a mental handicap. Like, you might need professional help.
There's people out there.
Yeah. Woodward Sports chat thread. Also, Ethan Roselle, not hating the Tesla pick at all. I don't care what they gave up to get him. He looks really good. I'm salty. LOL, this network, dumb AF. Y'all cried for Garrett literally for a week. And now you say that they don't need another edge.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, they did get
Dude,
an
edge. you are very dumb.
They got
You're,
an
like there I said it. Have you not listened? You can still make moves. You can pick up a guy from a scrap heap. You can make a trade. You can make that over the top move. Yes, that can still happen. Okay?
Right.
That will happen. I guarantee you, as sure as I'm sitting here, that the Detroit Lions will add not just another edge, but an edge that will come in and play a significant role. So yes, if Myles Garrett is available, I want my general manager fired if he doesn't kick the tires.
And he did.
Here's the beautiful thing.
And he
wasn't available.
But he kicked the tires on him.
Yeah. He kicked the tires on all of them.
Burn in the soup.
Man, the dumb is on fire today.
And like I said before, when you
Did you
don't
see the look on his face?
Right, no, y'all done pissed Sean off today. But I said this to I'm salty before. Yes, you are right. Everybody on this network wanted an edge. But guess what? When we don't get our way, you have to adjust your fucking thinking. And that's what a lot of y'all don't do, unfortunately.
Burn in the super chat. You hear Joe Douglas say the Jets 100% were going to take Gibbs? Yes, I did hear that. But that was a reach, too. I was told that's a reach. Real quick.
Would have been there in the second.
Yeah, no, he would have been for sure. As would.
Oh God.
Speed bump.
It's all right.
Here's the thing. We're dumb. We're dumb.
Sean, speed bump, man. It's cool. Just keep rolling.
Tyreek Williams would have been there in the second also.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Tyreek Williams would have been there.
You're right.
At 60.
Speed bump.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
Could have got him at 60.
We can only reiterate the
can I
same
tell-
shit so
here's-
much.
If you just said you disagree with me, that's okay.
Right.
You
right.
disagree with Neil, that's okay.
Yeah,
But it's the LOL. You're dumb.
Right.
It's cool.
Sean Duff in the super chat. No matter who we pick this year, they're going to be a rotational player, and there is a role for every pick. We have a deep roster.
No. I was told, Neil, that we're getting Lawrence Taylor at 28.
Wait a minute.
Why is it so hard?
Wait a minute.
That Lawrence Taylor would be there at 28 for the Lions. And
Why
if they don't
is this
pick him,
so hard to figure
cripple the
out?
franchise.
It's
Sean Duff's smarter than everybody else. I don't know what to say. He's smarter than everybody. He gets it.
It is
We're
a
dumb.
unit.
Sean Duff is a smart
It is
one.
a unit.
Shout out to you, Sean.
Sean,
Thank you.
sir, how does he spell his name?
Well,
that's
SHAWS.
all right. We all have our crosses.
Yeah, that's his only flaw, though. He has the whole thing figured out.
That's his
Yes,
only flaw.
Sean Duff. Yes, it's a unit. Yes, and you know what? Do I still want an impact guy? Do I still want Hendrickson? Yes, but you have an impact guy already on the roster. And Neil, we joke about it so many times before the draft starts. Did you guys know there's a day 1? Then there's a day 2. Then there's a day 3. Then there's a free agent signing period. Then there's a trade deadline. Calm the bleep down.
All right, they all capping and shit. Cue ball. If Brad drafted a punter in the first round, you would find a way to justify Brad's actions like he's Jesus Christ.
No, we have a good punter.
No, we got a really good punter.
Burn in the super chat. Hutch was a reach. He'd be there in the second round.
That's true. That is true.
Oh my gosh.
313 Kurt.
I didn't think this was happening today, Neil.
Yes.
I really didn't.
Hey, Mark McCormick. All I'm saying is Javi had a good weekend. Hey, Javi Town.
Hey, Javi Town.
Hey, Javi Town.
We got to put that shirt in.
We should definitely put that shirt out there.
A must agree.
313 Kurt. Could have had
Aura.
Gia Campbell and Mike Green crying emoji. Gia Campbell might not play this year.
They were never going to draft Mike Green.
It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And you know
Sorry.
what? Nobody.
That's why we called it my pipe dream.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, you grabbed that guy, but you knew they were never going to take him.
Literally. And by the way, too, like if he comes out and has like a sack or 2 next year, I don't want to hear it because every team in the league passed on him.
I told you, Neil.
The Lions wouldn't have drafted Mike Green at 60 if he was there. They were not taking him.
Every team in the league passed on him, so that's over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every team did. Real quick, because you asked about Tesla. So my very, very good friend was the video content director for Arkansas football this past year, and he's since left and moved on and went to UConn. But I asked him, I said, "What's up, man? Tell me about this Isaac Tesla guy." He said, "I love Isaac. He's the man. He's from Grand Rapids, was a huge Lions fan.
Shout out.
He would wear his Lions gear on campus all the time. As a player, his hands are amazing. He'll catch everything thrown his way. He had some ridiculous one-hand catches in games and in practices.
Some pretty insane stuff.
He a Yak King, too.
He struggles with creating separation, though, which will be his biggest hurdle. But he's seriously such a good dude, one of my favorite kids from the team, and he works his ass off."
Wasn't that I think that's a knock that I heard a couple people say is creating separation and learning how to run the crisp routes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that can happen in development.
Absolutely.
Those are if those are the issues.
And you know who's a pretty good guy to learn how to get separation from and help you with your fast breaking routes and sharpness?
A receiver that we reached for?
Yeah, a receiver we reached for in the 4th round. I mean, he's one of the best route runners in the league. One of the best guys at getting separation in the NFL. The Lions do a great job at scheming players open as well.
Is there anybody?
And that's what people don't realize. In tandem with an Amon-Ra St. Brown and a J-Mo.
Well, is there anywhere, too, like he could learn from, as a guy who's very fast, is there any tricks that he could learn about using your speed in the NFL from?
No.
Oh, none. Maybe another guy they reached for?
Oh, yeah. That other pass catcher that Brad got.
Yeah.
All right, we'll ride out on this one. Dante151 in the super chat. Bleacher Report has the Tigers ranked number 2 in their power rankings behind the Giants.
Holy shit.
Let's friggin' go. Also, why are people crashing out on this draft? Let them play an effing game.
It's been mostly positive. And I was on
Could
X,
you imagine,
so I know it was.
like, seriously, a Giants-Tigers rematch with Javi Mays taking on 328-year-old Methuselah Verlander?
Yeah.
How outstanding would that be?
With the World Series on the line?
Could you
Amazing.
imagine that? Like,
Amazing.
JV digs deep and goes back into his bag of tricks, and there he is facing Javi Mays.
He's still
Javi gonna get the blooper single to win the game. I can see it now.
Now that's
blooper
only, of
single
course,
RBI.
that would only be, of course, if Justin Verlander was on their playoff rotation.
That's true.
Which he was not in Houston last year. But bring him home.
If there was a man on second, as
Look at you throwing shade.
Benny pointed out,
Neil hates.
if there was a
No,
man
he
on
does.
second, I guarantee you he drives him in.
And over 1,000 OPS with a man on second this year.
Neil, who
It's
you hate more,
impressive.
Javi or Verlander? Verlander because he tapped out?
No, I don't.
Verlander because he tapped out?
He did tap out. He did. Like
Yep,
Grant
I
Hill
do.
tapped out. Grant Hill tapped out.
He did.
So that bothers me. It may not bother some of you, but it bothers me.
You hate him more than Javi.
Yeah, probably.
We got an admission.
Yeah.
Go.
I don't hate him because he was good here. You know what I'm saying? Like he won a Cy Young. Like he was good.
He was great, but I've never seen you speak positively
He
of
didn't
Verlander.
fleece the organization out of $150 million.
No, he didn't.
Like,
But he asked out
It
at the right
wasn't
time.
his fault that the general manager made one of the worst deals.
Exactly.
ever.
No,
But it wasn't his fault.
I can't
At
blame
the
him.
time he asked out, I can't blame him. Yeah. It's the same shit I say with Stafford. At the time, I'm not going through another rebuild.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Look, the worst sports network in the world could slide a contract in front of me for $100 million.
I'm signing that shit.
And I'm signing it as long as the money's going to be put in escrow.
Right.
I'm signing it.
I hear you.
And I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Because I did right by my family for that.
I feel you.
That's all that matters to me in the end.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Oh, look at him coming home on Verlander. I love it.
At least Verlander did some positive things.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the most positive I've ever heard you speak about Verlander.
He did positive things
The
for
guy's
us.
still throwing 97.
But
I am.
But
when it was all on the line,
here comes day.
And up until last year, he was the worst World Series pitcher in history, confirmed statistically, the worst ever.
Yeah.
Can you agree with that? You don't have a choice because it's
I
statistically
can. Yeah,
true.
no, yeah.
Okay.
I love Verlander. I will.
Nah,
always
but
love
yeah.
Verlander.
Sean, have you had enough today? You look
can't
like you've
make
had
me
enough.
hate Verlander.
I'm not seeing any of you again until Friday.
Nickel Package Friday, back.
Oh my gosh.
What are we doing for top 5 this week?
Yeah, we skip.
We'll
You
figure it
guys
out.
want to keep with the
Your
top 5
hobby
drafts you
moments
pushed
of the year
back?
so far?
Nah.
Why do you do that?
Did you want to
We're
stay?
all in now.
Nah, I think draft's
No,
kind of run its
draft-
course.
Yeah, draft
Well,
has run its course.
Yes.
Originally, before you guys kind
It
of
was
switched
check out aisle candy at the
Yeah.
supermarket.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
When you got literally when you get the 2 caramel Reese's cups for like $1,
You're doing it.
I have to.
If
I
it's
really-
if
I
it's
don't
on
have a
sale,
choice.
you're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. It's like, before you look at the National Enquirer, all right, that I gotta get that just to read that. No. I see the
Top
2
5
Reese's
claps.
caramel cups for $1. They're in. They're in the bag.
Terrell in FL says, was a joke. I know Brad doesn't care about us. I have my opinion on what it takes to win a chip. You disagree. We'll find out who's right come the playoffs.
He
Yes,
don't
we
really
will.
care about
we
us.
will.
Michael Jackson.
All I
Then-
want
then
to say
maybe
is
you
Brad
can
don't
tell
really
me what
care
the
about
problem
us.
Real quick, too, Sean Duff in this super chat. Remember the year we needed a wide receiver and we had to the 4th round to take a wide receiver who was slow and couldn't catch? How's that looking now?
All I want to say is
They
Brad
don't really care about us.
All right, that's enough. See you tomorrow, everyone. Big D Energy. Well, see you later.